Oh.
way. There's no hesitation at all.
What?
Ali's instant.
Alright.
So Zen, Mercy, Lucio, triple support.
Something or Farah.
Oh, fire be easy here.
Okay, Ryan Zarya.
Mercy.
Yeah.
Ryan Zarya, triple support,
That's what I'm
Ashe.
saying, we're gonna run.
Okay.
Well, Ashe is really good with Mercy too. So.
Ashe
I mean, yeah.
it's
This
up
is
to you.
weird. This is weird. Oh, but
I mean,
doable.
this is not a bad Ashe map.
It's also
Farah's not bad. Well, this is also not a bad Farah map. Maybe after first, Farah's a bit worse, but just because there's not much cover for her, it's pretty open.
yeah.
So, oops. Are we just gonna focus down the Reinhardt, or?
Yeah, pretty much. We're gonna work on their front line, and the Ryan probably won't get too much.
He got booped off. He's off. Wow, I got fucking.
Get
Wow.
right, get right, get right. Speed us into Ryan.
He's discorded. He's discorded.
Okay,
off.
okay. Wait a second. So we have Farah, Mercy, and then we have Lucio and Zen solo healing 2 tanks without self healing. This is gonna be hard. I'm guessing you have some sort of plan, but I guess it's okay as long as the Reinhardt doesn't take a lot of damage. But in a composition like this, your Reinhardt will not be allowed to be aggressive, because if the enemy team has any kind of shield pressure or a lot of damage onto tanks, your Rein is just gonna like lose half his HP, and then he's gonna have to wait like 30 minutes for your Lucian Zen to heal him up. Same thing with Zarya. Zarya's not gonna be able to be very aggressive like this either. So I would probably I would probably play an Ana here instead. So Ana can take care of, or a Moira, but Ana is of course better. But Moira is fine as well if you like Moira more. So that way you can actually put your full focus onto the tanks, have some other DPS hero, and then have the Farah Mercy do their own thing.
Yeah.
But whatever, let's just look at your Zen play here.
The Ryan probably won't get.
So you're gonna want to have your Harmony Orb on the Reinhardt. That is absolutely correct.
Get right, get right. Speed us into Ryan.
He's discorded. He's discorded.
I'm actually dead from TNT.
I got pressured from above.
So yeah, this is going to be the problem, unfortunately, with this point. You're not really going to be able to do a lot. Let's actually open up Mr. Dorado. No, that was Junkertown. Gua, as usual. So, here. You're pushing up the payload. And Zenyatta. Let's we can start with this. Pushing up the payload here. And unfortunately, or well, I guess it was kind of good since the Reinhardt dropped. Your team called for a speed boost onto him, but that is gonna put the Reinhardt shield like over here, and you can't survive the pressure coming from the high grounds. Especially not if you're like half committed. If you would have fully committed to the push and standing with your team, then Reinhardt could have easily put up his shield and actually save you while moving backwards slowly. Or if you just don't commit to the push at all and you just discord the target like you did, and then just hide behind the payload. So slowly pushing it while crouching behind the payload, and letting these two slowly move back until you can actually put some pressure on the high ground. So keeping yourself alive is a very important here. But even if you commit to this push here and run all the way in, like they can still shoot from like other angles that the Reinhardt can't really protect, especially if they have other people shooting from above, or another DPS shooting from this side. So what you usually do in these situations, if they have a bunch of DPS on these high grounds here, you usually, or if you're playing a Reinhardt comp, of course. If you're playing dive, then you just dive the high ground and try to get a kill. But if you're playing a Reinhardt comp, then you usually push the payload very slowly. Everyone stays closely together behind the Rein shield. You move up all the way until the payload is around the choke here. And this is when it usually becomes hard. This is when Reinhardt teams get absolutely destroyed, because they're gonna get shot at from high ground, from here, and Reinhardt shield can only block from the front. So if they're gonna have a bunch of damage from here, your supports are just gonna get deleted every single time. And you're gonna be sad, and you're gonna wanna rip off your hair. So after you have pushed the payload up until the choke, that's when you have to change your playstyle a little bit and actually push out and force them off the high ground. So you can speed boost up here through these stairs, get these nasty DPS heroes that are standing here off the high ground by just running here. But as soon as you like speed boost up here, the DPSs that are standing here should probably back off towards their team or back off this way. But backing up this way is just stupid, because if they do, you can just keep chasing them, and that is going to force them to drop down here and regroup with their team on the courtyard. And by doing this simple, very simple rotation up onto the high ground here, you have flushed out the enemy DPSs from these high ground, and they are now all on the courtyard. You know exactly where everyone is. Your Reinhardt shield is once again going to be effective by blocking all of the damage coming in from the front. So now you can just drop down from the high ground here and start pushing the payload and playing together in the courtyard. Well, let's see what happens. Let's see what
until
happens.
they're off the high ground.
They have really low heals.
Hey, pretty good call. Play defensively until they're off the high ground.
Just wait, go down, Bruce and Ash. We don't want to be too aggressive. Just get off the payload. Just get off the payload.
But sometimes saying like kind of like vague stuff isn't always going to help the team, because everyone isn't really going to understand exactly what you mean.
Yeah, okay, it's just...
It's like saying, oh, we have Nanoblade, but they have trance. We need to force out trance, and everyone's like, okay, but how do you force out trance? What are we going to do? Are we going to like dive in on the Zen to force the trance? Are we going to like only use Nano and jump on the Zen with the Genji, force him to use trance, and then blade afterwards? Like it needs some more detail.
They weren't contesting me.
No, but you can use the payload as cover, right? And if it's not there, then you can't use it as cover.
I guess.
God.
Ooh,
Ash
that was
won.
a huge right click. But I would say in this situation, instead of trying to take the duel, you're actually doing some pretty good movement here. The A and D strafing.
God. Oh, Ash won.
Yeah, you unconsciously started moving backwards. That is a pretty bad idea more often than not. So the first movement that you had while loading a right click here,
No, but you can use the payload as cover, right? And
this right click. So moving here back and forth, AD strafing is gonna make it very hard for the Ashe up here to hit you. So this movement that you've got here, really good, really good. Then you start moving like straight backwards.
Oh, Ash won.
That could have maybe possibly killed you. Who knows? But definitely just go into AD strafes when entering into duels. But I would have definitely not even taken this duel. As soon as I see that Ashe, I would just start running immediately towards this wall, and start playing around either this or the other door that is to the left, so that you can put your harmony, you can apply pressure to their front line, while still not being in the line of sight of enemies from above.
Oh, I'm stuck.
So like Ashes, McCree's, and stuff are more often than not going to win those duels against you.
Ash dead.
Rein discarded.
Mercy.
Fairy,
Can I get a
you
Mercy
have
up here?
to go.
Mercy, jump up to me. Thanks. Beg.
Yeah, really
he's
good. You're
one.
discarding the Rhine.
I push out that.
Got him.
Darius getting popped.
Let's actually look here at what you were doing. So you harmony your Rhine, discard the enemy
Ash
Rhine.
dead.
You are left clicking his shield.
Rhine
That's
discarded?
good.
Mercy.
Fairy.
Can I get a
have to
Mercy
go-
up here? Mercy, jump up to me. Thanks. Beg.
Oh, he's one.
I push out that.
Got him.
Okay.
Darius getting popped.
Zen.
Okay, no, I can't hit that.
Good call. Good
Oh,
call.
shit.
Don't even try to
Yeah.
hit like Valking
Zarya
Mercies.
half
Just go for
discarded?
the easy targets like
Got
Zarya's.
it. I've got trans.
Well, so some pretty decent gameplay here.
I'm losing shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
use trans first. They don't have a Ana, so trans first.
I don't, yeah.
Unless they pop High Noon.
Wow, she just fucking double
No,
headshot.
I know.
I got res.
Okay, charging up right clicks.
I mean, I'm.
Yeah, definitely just keep charging right clicks in this situation. Like you're still just waiting for stuff to happen. If you get a pick, awesome. If you don't, at least you make him scared by pumping right clicks towards him.
So,
Yeah.
Zarya, no friend, you're just gonna swing at this Ryan, just pocket me.
I'm healing you.
So yeah, good. Putting the
Rhine's
harmony on the
discarded. He's
Rhine.
low. He's one. He's
Ah.
no bubble. Oh, I'm dead.
Ah, shit.
Thanks for that, swear.
Please get good at the game, enemy team.
Oh, I'm dead. He's
Ah.
no bubble.
So yeah, going a bit too aggressive there.
Oh, I'm dead.
Always try and stay behind the Rhine shield. So let's see here.
But the Rhine's
Like the positioning you have here is amazing.
He's low. He's
You're
one.
still on the payload, you're pushing the payload, you're applying pressure to the enemy Rhine shield, and at the same time, you are super safe. Like there's no way you die here.
He's
Ah.
no bubble.
I guess your Rhine kind of backed off when your whole team wanted to push in, so that was weird.
Oh, I'm dead.
It doesn't look like his shield was low either, so I don't know what happened there.
Oof.
what is he doing?
But maybe it's even worth it to trans there,
Oh, an Ash now.
since the enemy team transed,
about
and then
halfway
you're
back.
gonna have like Valk and Grav and Shatter and stuff for the next fight. So you should probably be taking like Streets phase all the way.
My bubble's on you. My bubble. My orb.
Catching off level.
Is there anyone that can hit
Catch him
tie
healing.
ground?
Yo, Mercy, come back. Mercy, follow me.
Hey, why?
Alright, I guess
He's
not.
discarded? Ah, shit. Sorry, my actually weren't fast enough.
Oh,
Right.
that trance was so close. But yeah, okay,
Is there
let's see
anyone that
here.
can hit tie ground?
Catching off level.
Is there anyone that can hit
Catch him
tie
healing.
ground?
Yo, Mercy, come back.
So yeah, you're thinking a bunch of how you can
Mercy, follow me.
control this game. Your Rhine is getting super ultra low, and you're starting to get close here. So every single time when you're getting into Reinhardt shadow range, you usually want to be positioned far enough so that even if he shatters, it is going to be too far away and you won't get hit anyway. And that will definitely give you the option, because sometimes even if the enemy Reinhardt hits a shatter, you don't need to transit. But if you're standing in his shatter range, then you are going to develop a habit of like automatically trancing every single time you hear a shatter, just because you've been conditioned into doing it every time. So always try and stay as far away as possible from Reinhardt so that you aren't in shatter range, or at least next to corners. So like right behind you. Let's see if we can actually see it. But right behind you is a...
Come back.
There we go. Right behind you is a little wall or a corner that you can actually position behind. I think you're standing, or you were standing there when I paused, or when you get shattered. So by just taking one little step backwards and playing around this corner, as soon as you see the Reinhardt approach for a shatter, you can just take a simple step to the left, dodge the shatter completely, and then assess the situation if you need to trans or not.
Mercy, follow me.
Hey, why?
Alright, I guess
He's
not.
discarded? Ah, shit. Sorry, my actually weren't fast enough.
So yeah, sure. Like reacting to a shatter is pretty much just the last. Oh, what's it called? It should be your last option. I mean, that's not the word I'm looking for, but whatever. So you always want to be in such a position that you aren't gonna get taken by surprise and have to do it on reaction. Of course, sometimes you are required to do it on reaction, so it's definitely good to have the skills to do it and know how to react. But at least you want to try and stay defensively.
He's one. He's one. I heal him.
Nice.
Alright, can you res that? Res that, res that.
Hanzo Discord, one.
just
Zen
stay me.
Discord.
Ali, follow me. Ali.
Pretty
Zen's
good,
one.
pretty good.
Wow, again?
Yeah, she's getting free damage because she's not getting contested for a
Oh.
long time.
Yeah, I need the
Yeah, it's fine.
fucking.
They
I
wasted
need
it.
the Ali to just stuck at me.
Wait, Bob does more damage than Mercy can heal us.
Ali, just boost me. Oh, fuck me, fuck me.
Oh,
So you've got some
She's not-
really aggressive positioning,
Ali,
Zen
just stay me.
Discord.
Ali, follow me.
and it's probably killing
Oh,
you quite a
Zen's
lot.
one.
So like this position here, sure you are pushing, and you are like you want to get even more kills,
Wow, again?
yeah, she's getting free.
but you can still like stand the way you're standing right now. You can still see everything in front here. So like walking out into the open without any nearby cover is very dangerous and very risky, and should not be done too much. So always try and play around cover, around corners, and just value your life a bit more, because just staying alive as Zenyatta is giving a lot of benefit. Just thanks to your Harmony Orb and your Discord Orb, like you could almost do quite a lot of impact onto a game by just putting your Harmony and Discord Orb on the enemy Rhine and then not doing anything at all. Like you're gonna make the Reinhardt's life way easier than it is for the enemy.
Damage.
Whoops. So staying alive, super important to get value out of Harmony and Discord. And it is also going to allow you to
Because
charge
she's
up
not
your
getting-
trances fast. Like
Yeah,
farming up
farming
trans is also going
Yeah, I
to
just
be
want-
a
I
very
need the
very
fucking-
important
they
I
part.
need the Ali to just stuck at me.
Wait, Bob
Of
does more
Zens.
damage than Mercy can heal us.
Ali, just boost me. Oh, fuck me, fuck me.
Oh, their Hanzo's one. He's
I
full
was gonna
now.
ask if we should run
Speed us through, ready? I'm speed now.
I'm Malfoy.
Run Discord.
Ali, just pocket me. Ali,
I
pocket me.
can't peek.
You still want it?
Oh,
Okay,
shit.
Everyone's low on HP.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Ash, high ground left. Be
We
careful.
got to get hot with you, Nash. Just
I'm
wow.
Yeah.
back out.
So wait, where is the rest of your team? The Zarya was
Oh,
actually
their
pushing up.
Hanzo's one. He's
I
full
was
Or
gonna
what
ask
happened
if
here?
we should run
Speed us through, ready? I'm speed.
Okay, your Zarya's going left, your Ryan's going
Run
right.
Discord.
Your Zarya's dying. Okay. Also, so this was pretty weird from both you and the Zarya. In Ryan compositions, you want to play behind the Reinhardt. You want to allow him to be as aggressive as possible by giving him resources. You give him bubbles so that he can swing safely. Give him the Harmony Orb and the Discord Orb on the enemy Rhine so that he wins that duel. And also help with applying pressure to the shield so that you win the shield war.
Ali, just
But
pocket me. Ali,
I
pocket me.
can't.
your Zen goes out and dies to the Ash, and
Oh,
you're
shit.
also gonna fall victim to the Ash.
Oh, okay, never mind.
That's a
You're
full
right.
full
Oh, they were-
regroup,
for sure, they all
hopefully.
lose you.
Yeah, we've lost 4 there.
I don't.
Yeah, got a bunch of ults out of
You can't
it.
be pocketed in this comp either. You can't be calling for a pocket all the time.
I mean, we have
You
like
can't. We
3
don't have
healers.
enough healing. Yeah, but it's
Yeah,
not
but they're all off healers. So if you
Then we
take the
shouldn't be
mercy
on
for
that.
yourself,
And you got to remember they're running Zen Hanzo as well, so the front line is going to get burned pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about at the start. I don't think this the composition is very good either. is because you need some kind of main healer to keep up the Rhine and the Zarya. Otherwise, they're just gonna be damage sponges and like Mr. Rectangle Man.
Give me
I
speed.
said
Give me
like-
speed.
So they won't
Swing
really
out.
be able to do
He's
anything.
discorded. Nice shatter.
Good shit. Zarya's behind.
She's discorded. She's half. No
Ash
bubble.
is one.
Personal?
Where's the Ash? I spawned.
She's one, yeah.
Yeah, she's like
Okay.
that.
I've
And like calling out discords and stuff is very good in like a ranked or in comp where you're playing with a bunch of randoms that aren't really like used to target focus and stuff. But when you're playing in like a Rein Zarya comp and your Reinhardt is the main damage dealer, I guess your Ashe is the main damage dealer, but you are mostly going to focus on what the Rein does. It is not super important to call out discord orbs. You pretty much just discord whatever is in front of Ryan that he can swing at, so that he gets a bunch of kills and gets his shatter faster.
Lib.
That was 1-0. Right. Trans beat. Use beat first. Use longer off cooldown.
Okay, beat first.
I'm gonna grab them.
Yeah, so some pretty nice ult planning here. I like it. Calling what ult you're gonna use. Unfortunately, you grab in the corner.
He's discorded.
Anyway.
That forces trance.
Hands are discorded.
That's one.
I need to kill him.
Probably want to trance here before
damn,
you die.
damn it.
16
What's
HP.
that?
Oh
I
my
got
god.
him.
Trans.
Oh,
Oh
shit.
no. Unlucky.
There's no need for
Alright,
trans though.
fuck it,
We
fuck
just need to back out.
Let's see here.
That's one.
So like right here, you've got three. You've already got a pick. You have forced both their trance and their Valk. The enemy Zarya just used bubble, so you can definitely trance here. Save your Zarya, save your DPS here. Your Rhine still full HP, but your chance will allow him to deal damage uncontested here, and you pretty much just straight up win the game here
I need to
with
kill him.
a trance.
Oh, dang it, damn it.
So your Ashe dies,
What's Ash?
and then your Lucio dies.
Oh shit. There's no need for
Alright,
trans though.
fuck it,
We
fuck
just need to back out.
Okay.
But yeah, I shouldn't have peeked there.
Yeah. Okay, if I say like trans like that, it's not a call to trans, it's a call that I can't beat. It's just a faster way to say I can't beat
Well,
right now.
just say I can't beat. Just say I can't beat.
Yeah. I said I'm tired, but
Just say no beat.
Right, there's Ash on the high ground.
You got a Zarya on her as well.
Yeah, I can't.
She's one. One in the air.
I didn't hear.
She's
I don't know
dynamite
what
now.
happened there. I had a
That's
rhino
dynamite.
inside me and then
Zen's trans, discorded.
So you lost one here, and the enemy team has insane respawn advantage. So in these situations, just soft resetting like this puts you in danger of dying. Like if they were a smart team, they would actually engage into you here, 6 versus 5, as soon as they have their cooldowns back, and you're probably going to die and stall or stagger yourselves into even more deaths and more waste of time. And standing in the open like this puts you in quite a lot of danger. Like the Ashe here could definitely start looking at you and shooting at you, and you're pretty far away from cover. I guess you've got the wall here to the right, but she could probably hit you twice before you get to the wall. So try and always stay a bit closer to walls, while you're still having these guys in vision.
Zarya discorded.
Headshot me.
I'm ready.
Oh
Couple of
hey,
them are dynamite.
Tiger Bean. Thank you for the follow.
Oh, dang, can I get orb?
Welcome to the stream.
It's just only out in the open. What you gain? But you don't want to be there. You want to be
I can't back off like properly because the Ashe is pressuring from the right.
right. we're gonna engage now. There's a Zarya on the high ground over there. We're
It's
gonna
okay.
force our way
You,
into B.
you
Now,
kind
go,
of
go.
managed to soft reset, but it took a lot of damage and it took a lot of time. It's a good engage with beats
He's
here.
discorded. They
That
trans?
forces trance.
Do I trans?
They-
Do I trans?
Yes.
I'm going Zarya. No.
Why?
These three ults.
Unlucky. Let's see here.
B.
I think the reason you're afraid of trancing is because you want to counter a specific ult, I believe. But I guess you get grabbed and you don't trance anyway.
He's discorded. They trans.
So like the enemy team just used their own trance. They used their bob. Did they use chatter or was that you?
He's discorded. They trans.
No,
Do I
nobody
trans?
used
Do
chatter.
I trans?
I'm going Zarya. No.
Why?
These three
We
ults are.
beat the engage, so.
Yeah, I was just wondering whether we were continuing the fight or not.
No, they use 3 ults.
Yeah, they used 3 ults, but remember that you've had your trance ready for like 3 minutes. You could have definitely used trance one of these fights and then had a second one ready.
Valk as well, and just swap Mercy and Diana instead. I think.
Really? Okay, sure. Yeah, we don't have enough heals.
So if you can counter a bunch of ults with trance, even if it's just one DPS ult, I would say most of the time it's worth it. Especially now you got grabbed and bobbed. That's 2 huge ults, or well, at least grab is a huge ult. Bob charges up quite quickly, but countering the grab with the trance definitely worth it.
Alright,
Will
follow
probably
for-
force them
right.
to use even more ults, or you just straight up win the fight.
Oh, I picked up
God.
your shield.
I got the Ash.
Why
Okay.
speed, please? Like, I'm taking so much shield damage. You need speed.
I got him. Got 2.
Right.
Let's go over and throw Bob. Alright, Bob's in the back.
Oh, I'm
Tran.
trying. He's dead.
He's dead.
Yeah, but you died to the dragon.
Yeah, my reactions weren't fast enough. It was right in front of me.
I got 2. Zed's 1.
That was last fight as well, I think. Yes. Oh, you're gonna get in with the trance, but it's gonna be a stagger trance. Okay, yeah. Like, don't be afraid to use trance. It is if you can counter 1 or 2 ults and you've got a bunch of teammates alive, 100% use that trance. But I think the biggest one was definitely the first fight when you get into third point here.
Where's that?
No.
4.
Can't be.
So let's see here. They use dragon. I think they use chatter too this fight.
Yeah, but
Alright,
Let's see
Discord.
here.
good shit.
So you win with the shatter. You get a kill on the Zarya here. You've got your transfer ready.
No
Ash
bubble.
is 1.
Personal?
Where's the dash?
They probably have grab
1,
ready.
yeah.
But the enemy team used dragon.
Okay.
So they
Oh,
just
good.
used dragon. They probably won't be having a dragon for next fight.
Trans beat. You beat first.
And you get another
Okay,
pick.
beat first.
And you're already here.
Gonna grab them.
Your whole team is ready to go. You use grab, that forces the enemy trance. So the enemy doesn't have trance anymore. They don't have dragon.
He's discorded.
Anyway.
You get the Reinhardt shield. Like the enemy Reinhardt shield is 100% destroyed. They pop Valk. They have popped everything. They have nothing left. Literally nothing left.
Hands are discorded.
And that was your shatter that missed, I think. So here, definitely trancing here is just straight up gonna win you the game. So you're gonna keep your Zarya alive. You're gonna keep your Hanzo alive. You're gonna keep your Lucio here alive.
I kill him. Oh, dang, oh, damn it.
Yeah, they even popped Bob. They even popped Bob. Bob is gonna do nothing if you
What's that?
trance.
I'm
low.
They even pop shatter. So they use literally everything here except their grab.
Trans.
Oh shit. There's no need for
Alright.
trans though.
That. It's not a call to trans.
It's worked back.
That was probably the best opportunity to trance. And then when you got grab bobbed as well. Unfortunately, your Mercy was stuck on the other side of the payload, so she would have probably died. Since trance can't heal through walls. But okay, what do you play now? You've got a Genji. Okay, this is a kind of a better lineup. you're still doing the triple support with the solo DPS, so you're gonna have quite weak shield pressure. You're only gonna have the Zen and, well, some from the Lucio, Zarya, and Genji, but Genji will probably be focusing on dealing with their backline.
Yeah, sure.
It's okay, let's see.
What comes up faster?
In this kind of lineup, you're probably going to stick your Harmony Orb onto the Genji for the most part,
Corbin,
since you want to allow him to be aggressive and try to Discord Orb the targets that he goes for,
I can record it if you want.
please.
Alright, I'll do that now.
which should be their Ana if
I
they
can
have
try
one,
as well.
or their Zen if they have one,
Go for it.
or their Mercy if they have one.
Oops.
And then during the downtimes, of course, you as the Zen will be shooting shields and discording the Rhine. But when your Genji want to go aggressive, you gotta enable him. It's okay, right-clicking, just a small thing that you can do at the start of the game is right-clicking the little, there's a little crack here in the wall that will give you sightlines straight towards the... What's the name of it? The spawn door. There we go. The spawn door, so that you can get a bunch of ult charge at the start. Can give you like 7 to 10% if you hit a few right clicks. Yeah, pressure and shield. It's fine.
I'm gonna watch a Reaper behind.
Not showing too much of your face. And in this case, definitely keep your Harmony on the Genji. He is way easier for you to heal, and he can also, like, if he has Harmony Orb on himself, he can take up positioning over here and like shoot at them from behind, or on this high ground over here and shoot at them from behind. He can always disengage with his dash towards you guys if he ever needs help. But yeah, Harmony Orb should be reserved for the more of a flanking style heroes that are a bit harder to heal. Like your Ana and your Lucio can take care of your tanks. You don't need to do this or do that in this situation.
Speed rotate, down, 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 down.
Okay, you used beat just to rotate this little area here. I would say this is definitely not worth it. Or did I say beat? I meant amp. I think I said beat. Whoops. So amping just to move here. You could have just started moving a bit earlier and used the regular speed boost and then saved the amp for healing in the actual fight here, or maybe for an actual engage where you try and go all in. But going all in against this, I would not recommend, since you have a bit less DPS than
There's
them.
a fucking widow behind
With
us.
the triple
Put it behind
support.
us, put it behind us. Oh, no, that's
He's on the low ground.
Oh, so that's gonna hurt. Your main healer is dead.
Just pull it out, soft disengage with soft.
So yeah, that's another thing that would be possible with the Genji standing a bit more aggressively. So with you standing here and your Genji over here with the Harmony Orb, like they had Reaper, Zarya, Ryan. Like there's nobody to contest him except the Widow, and the Widow is probably gonna be positioned like first on this roof maybe, or second on this roof. But this will allow your Genji to take the duel. Like if you allow this Genji with the Harmony Orb and the Discord Orb on the Widowmaker to like take this duel, the Widow's life is gonna be hell, and she's gonna get wrecked. And then the same thing when the rest of your team starts moving down here to try and hold the choke. That's when your Genji can like still hang around this area, just so that he sees or hears when the Widowmaker is trying to make a flank. Now, this is very Widowmaker specific, but it is going to be the Genji's job to keep track of her and chase her down.
My Anna's back. Gonna speed in now.
I don't have line of sight to though. To go forwards. 'Cause I took that, but yeah.
Ryan's Ryan's dead.
Around Zed as well.
I think the Rhine didn't have Harmony Orb on him.
Just pull it out, soft disengage.
It drops here when you're not in line of
My Anna's
sight.
back.
Unlucky.
Speed in now.
I don't have line of sight to though. To go forwards. 'Cause I took that, but yeah.
Definitely want to reapply your Harmony Orb there on the Reinhardt.
Discord on-
They're like all purple. Moira's one, Moira's dead, Moira's dead.
Is that
And when you get into duels with tracking heroes, you definitely wanna. Oops, why is my game not started? Now my game is started. You want to use mobility to keep yourself alive for as long as possible. There's no way that you are going to survive against a high charge Zarya running straight at you, especially when she's that close to you. So when you get into a scuffle with a tracking hero, be it Zarya, Tracer, Sombra, Hammond, it doesn't really matter. All of those, what you want to do is do some wide AD strafes with no crouches and unpredictably or irregularly change the direction. So pressing AD and changing it up randomly is gonna make you a lot harder to track. And I mean a lot. It is super hard to actually keep your crosshair on someone that is walking that way. Or if I want to track this guy, it is very easy since he's walking in a straight line. But imagine if he would like change direction all the time. I would have to like readjust my aim every single time he changes direction, and it takes a lot longer to kill. Of course, I'm overreacting a bit right now, but it is something like this when you've got to readjust to someone that is walking left and right all the time. So
Zarya behind high charge?
Got Reaper.
Nice.
Sorry, one. Very dead.
Widow main.
Widow.
we actually won this fight. So okay, let's see here. You've got trance, and we've got a bunch of enemies. So what do we think we're gonna use the trance on here? Do we save it for grab? That is usually what most people do. Do we maybe save it for Reaper ult? Could be good. Or do we maybe, if our team gets shattered, is that what we're gonna do? Your first fight actually ended quite quickly, and you had a high charge Zarya that dealt a lot of damage, so she is probably gonna get her ult before the Reaper. The Reinhardt also did swing quite a lot, so you've gotta watch out for all of these ults, and it actually doesn't matter super much which ult you try and counter, because any of these ults, if they actually hit, are going to be team wipes. So you are okay countering any of these three ults if it is going to keep your team in the fight. So say priority 1, grab. Priority 2, Reaper ult. If you can't like stun it, you don't really have a lot of stuns. You've got sleep dart, but it's kind of slow. So even though you sleep dart almost immediately, it can still get 1 or 2 kills on squishes. And then shatter, like as a last resort in case your Reinhardt messes up and doesn't or isn't able to block it. Then of course, trancing the shatter might actually give you enough time to get maybe your own shatter, maybe your own nano boost, or your own beat to keep yourself in the fight. So this is a bit of a special situation since you dealt quite a lot of damage last fight and you got your chance way before any other players got their ults. So Moira probably has ult as well. So right, this immediate fight right now, probably gotta watch out for Moira and Rein Shatter, maybe grab. I'm not sure how much charge she actually got.
Peeking man.
She's grabbed.
But this is a bit of a special situation since your trance can buy enough time for the rest of your team to get a bunch of ults, it could be worth to trans something that is like less seen as a good trans counter. So like by saving your trans to just counter grab, you might actually shoot yourself in the foot.
That was really good. The soft engage there was really
So
good.
just transing something like a shatter, transing something like
Because if we had tried to fight that,
the Moira, just ulting and putting a lot of pressure,
we would have
transing,
lost.
keeping yourself in the fight, and then maybe getting a counter shatter or a grab or something, or a nano on your Rhine
Back, right? If you lose that, if they lose on a side,
could actually be game winning.
but try to avoid losing it on a side to yourself.
So let's see what happens
There's
here.
line of sight here on this point.
We can't see Genji, but other than that.
Yeah, no, don't worry.
So here comes the trance. I mean, here comes the shatter, and 3 people die.
Oh shit! I
Ryan's
just got
purple, so is
trans.
Reaper. Ryan's one, nice.
So you could have definitely saved the team fight there with the trance, since the Reinhardt screwed up his shatter. Oh hey Nooting, welcome dude. So since your Rhine screwed up blocking the shatter, it happens. That's absolutely fine. Could have saved them with the trance, and that would definitely give enough time for your Ana to get nano. Maybe you nano your Rhine, and he gets his shatter. He shatters a bunch of people. You win the
I
fight.
don't think it's worth.
Yeah, fine. I'll just try and get out.
So like already coming out of spawn when you're dead, and pressing tab like you just did, gotta start thinking about those things immediately.
Oh my fuck, their word is wicked.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, all of my team is at 70%. I just got a chance
You have nano.
to stay alive,
Top sheep, grab
or to keep us alive in the fight, and we're gonna have a bunch of
Left,
Qs
right, main.
to press and easily win the fight.
Oh, alright, charge.
How was your weekend? My weekend was pretty nice, pretty nice. I had a bunch of friends visiting me, and we played a bunch of Super Smash Ultimate, ate a bunch of good food. It was awesome. It was awesome.
Right, everyone here.
Yeah.
How about you?
Grapple, see what you
Here,
grapple.
careful here.
Right, are you on the widow?
You drop down. Don't know where she is.
So yes, same thing here. Let your other supports heal up the tanks. They are way better suited for that, and you can heal the one that is annoying, jumping around, since your Harmony Orb is gonna stick to him.
I'm looking for her. Oh, she's there.
Ryan's purple, Ryan's purple.
He's
And
discorded. He's half.
I got the widow.
He's like actually.
Ooh, that was actually close. Okay, so when it comes to lose your right click, left click, I mean, did I actually turn off the game? There we go. Smash with friends is always a good time. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. It is definitely always a good time. So something I see a lot of Zen players do is that they are holding left click to get the fastest amount of or the fastest rate of fire. But the problem is if you're shooting this fast, you are going to miss a lot of shots when people are moving around. So now, so instead of just holding left click and shooting as fast as possible, actually aim with each and every shot. You need intent between every single shot. So even if it takes a little bit more time, just going for the headshots on every single shot is going to increase your DPS substantially. So as you can see, just doing these small adjustments to make sure that each shot hits, instead of just holding left click and like randomly aiming towards their general direction. It is also going to save ammo, and you're going to do more meaningful damage. So even if you're shooting a bit slower, it is worth it. It's definitely worth it to make sure that every shot hits. When you're close, of course you can. It's a bit easier to aim, so of course you can increase your rate of fire. But as you can see, even though it looks easier, an increase in DPS when people are starting to move and dodge becomes way harder. So that Reinhardt almost killed your Ana here,
You drop down.
since you missed a lot of shots here on his charge.
I'm looking for her.
Oh, let me just turn this off.
There.
So like taking time, you did it on the first shot. You actually did it on the first shot since it was a flick. You were like, okay, flicking this way, nice, it's gonna hit, and then you clicked. But then you keep holding your primary fire button,
He's half.
and you actually miss like four balls, and your Ana's one hit away from dying. And of course, always try to aim for the head. So crosshair placement. Just keeping it a bit higher, especially on tanks. They are very easy to headshot.
Yeah, we're gonna nano right next fight.
Sure.
They now have nucleus.
Did you want to sit on the high ground? Ready.
It's okay. Now you've got 9 million Qs. Did you plan anything here?
Yeah.
They now have nucleus.
Did you want to sit on the high ground?
Okay.
Ready for the nano.
Yeah.
No plan really, but you're okay. You're planning a nanoblade. But they have a bunch of Qs as well. They only used Shatter last fight, and that was enough to win. So gotta keep it in the back of your head that okay, they have Reaper. Like Reaper might drop down with the Q in your face anytime. Gotta be fast with the trans reactions in case that happens. Same thing. Maybe want to save transfer grab, but they don't really have an ultra huge combo. So it could be a good idea to beat the trans as well. That also should be able to save you, since they don't have like Grab Dragon or something that usually kills even through beat. So there are a lot of options here, and when there are a lot of options, many people will press Q. So like if a Reaper suddenly jumps down and presses Q and your team is not ready for it, 100% like you're gonna trans the enemy, or your Lucius gonna beat, your Ana's gonna sleep him, and then you've wasted 2 ults. So talking about these things in advance, super important.
Alright, right, I'm gonna go soon. Alright, I'm going. Gotta go.
So saying something like, okay, I will beat the trans, the grab, or I will trans the grab, and then you can beat the Reaper ult, and you can X this, you can Y this. Okay, here you actually beat the grab. You are not trigger happy on that trans. They beat in response, and here comes the Reaper ult. Here comes the Reaper ult. You're still in beat though, so it should be fine. You might actually be able to save your trans here, and you are saving your trans. I love it.
Blade first. Oh wait. Oh, he's already bladed.
Yeah.
So you've got some huge trans discipline. Maybe a bit too much. If we're taking your attack into account. You held your trans for like 3.5 to 4 minutes, when it definitely could have been used 1 or 2 times to actually win the game straight out. So same thing on the first point here on defense as well. Could have probably saved that shatter from eliminating your team, and then retake with a bunch of Qs afterwards. What SR is this? I actually have no idea. Let me check. Where is he? There he is. 2.9. Oh, it actually said so on the board. Okay. Shut up, guys. Shut up. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Wait, did you blade while you were
That didn't happen. We keep going.
Doom Discord?
No. I was about to.
Ren
I think I
Discord?
caught it.
Ren Discorded?
Just use that helmet.
Oh. Alright, so
Okay, so some really aggressive positioning here. Remember that if the enemy team pushes into you, you've gotta start backing off in response. So the Rhine might actually have another shatter here that you need to keep in mind. So by standing this close, you are forcing yourself once again to doing this reactionary trance to the shatter. But you've got some huge pressure here, so it's fine for the moment.
Wait, when did you blade?
start with I set.
Red
Wait,
Reaper
but
Discorded?
You went.
He was in.
Where?
You know,
Some pretty good shots here.
No, but then he fell into the grab.
No, I jumped up.
He didn't
You were
get
definitely in the grab at one point.
No, I was never in grove.
Okay. My bad.
So yeah, now they used 1,000,000 ults, and you still got trance. The only thing you gotta be aware of or afraid of is the shatter. If you can save your team
Rain
from a
Discord?
shatter,
No, that's
Then,
Reaper.
then,
Reaper Discord.
On Ash off them.
there comes the shatter, there comes the Moira ult.
Probably dead.
And
Purple, I think.
still no trance, still no
they have
trance,
Ash
my
behind
friend.
us as
Ash
well.
left.
Oh, hey, Ginger. Zen is a fucking
Back
sniper,
left.
no need to do anything. Happy drude. So toxic, dude. So toxic.
I can grab blade right here.
Yeah, we'll grab blade. We're not in now. Right, wait for thingy. There's a Reaper left side, right. Left.
And Moira Discord?
Is Iris
she's got
asleep?
coupled.
Just throw a grab as soon as
Oh,
you get there.
huge charge.
Nice.
I'm going back to.
Nice. Good job, team.
Nice, yeah, nice. The cream might be better than.
So yeah, like teammate awareness, like that he should be Harmony or being people that are low HP, definitely on point. Some more thought into who should be Harmony or like at the start of the fight or in like downtimes. So like having it on Genjis that can be a bit more aggressive and take some more space on high grounds and stuff thanks to the Harmony Orb. Is just having a little bit more intent and actual aim between each shot when left clicking, and just a little bit more pre-planning with the trance, so that you already have it in your mind what you want to trance and why. So if you're already ready for, okay, I just need to like survive this shatter or do something this fight so that we can actually stay in the team or stay in the fight, you won't be as afraid to use your chance, because it was the same thing on your attack. You're holding trance way too long, and you can definitely like charge up a second one in the time it would take you to save your trance for the perfect moment.
We're gonna keep Genji. We're gonna force Genji, I think.
I can probably get.
Let's see here, what are you saying? I think this guy is holding back his trance so much because he's super afraid of not having it available when he needs it. Yes, that sounds reasonable. Yeah, definitely. Since you have three supports, it is for sure not going to be an issue with healing, and well, just farming up trance with Zen is something very important. And I don't think you only need to see Zen trance as something defensive. I think that keeps people behind as well. So just using it defensively, you can use it to win team fights as well. There have been several team fights that you could win thanks to the trance, and that's worth it in my eyes. It is worth it to win team fights with one Q press if possible. And especially if that allows your other teammates to charge up their own ultimates. So for sure,
Play it again pretty soon, so
Yeah,
you might want to hold
everyone's
up.
Feeding a little bit. Yeah.
I'm dropping a couple frames because my recording, which is sad.
Careful out.
Oh, Ash behind.
Left side.
Flanking
left side.
Ash, what the hell?
Ash behind.
Main.
There's literally an Ash right behind us. It's been called and fucking no one's done anything about it.
Yes, because someone said left side. Shut up, yeah.
Unlucky.
Oh,
I'm trying to dash for someone if I can.
Alright, just back off.
Shit. I might need some help to get back.
No, you're fine.
Win.
It's fine.
Yeah,
Oh,
Rooster's
Ash
left
top.
side.
Oh shit.
Damn, this Ash
Yeah, Rooster
destroying you guys.
left. Which I
Yeah, no, I
think-
meant left because their entire team was left.
Yeah, I thought that was.
Pause.
Unless
Transit.
the Ash on top left. The Ash on top left.
Alright, I'm gonna go push her as well.
Can we see another tab?
Alright, we can push in. We can push in here.
Definitely get into the habit of pressing tabs more as well. Just so, like every single time you're dead, you should be holding the tab button. You need to know how close your team is to ult.
I can't get to you.
And like telling your team that I'm almost there. I have trance ready. Back up. Be sure to play safe until I'm there, and I can trance you guys. It's also something that can be done. Like don't be afraid to tell your team to back off and play more defensively while you're
Reaper's one.
while you're
Reaper's one and
regrouping.
purple. Reaper's literally one.
I can't get him.
Yeah, I know, it's fine.
One ready.
We've almost got Blade.
D was not here, but we're good. But you have to go.
Just B. Just B. Go. No trans. No trans.
Okay, now we got one insane trance. You countered both their grab and the Reaper ult. Awesome, awesome. And you put the Discord orb onto the enemy Reaper. This is perfect. So now though, you gotta scream at your team. Kill the Reaper. Kill the Reaper. He is discorded. He is your primary target in this situation. Like having a Reaper on the payload, just life stealing and dealing 3 million DPS is absolutely unsustainable. Even if you have three healers, Reaper doesn't care. It deals like 400 damage per shot, and you're gonna get deleted.
Ash is really
You are going to get deleted. And same thing when you're done with trances, definitely try and take up some use like the last second to take some defensive positioning. So you trancing here, saving all of your teammates during the last second of trance. Use that speed boost to put you like in this situation or in this position, so that you can still like harmony your people. You can still discord orb people on the front line, or you could the position that you took is kind of okay. Like the Ash still has some pretty good sight lines towards you here, but I guess you've got pillars that you can hide behind, but it is still close to all of his teammates that can pressure you as well. So try and use the last second of the trance to reposition yourself a bit more safely.
Nice.
I need help with Reaper. No.
Did I get a nano? Oh, I got fucking dynamited. They're all low.
Zarya behind us, really high charge.
Here to help. Or not Reaper, McCree here to
So
help
it
you.
looks like you actually won.
They engaged with Bob. Ash, main. He's back left side.
Oh, that was so
Ash
close.
one. Ash is one.
So close. He almost blocked it.
I should not have.
Unlucky. Wait, let's
Ash,
actually see it.
He's back left side.
So yeah, I think like when holding right click here, like you're moving out super far out, even though you've got the Zarya. Like you've got the Zarya in vision, you've got something here. I can't really see what that is, and you've got something shattered, I think, behind the Zarya. And you don't actually need to move out of your safe little hiding spot here next to the corner. You can keep standing here and unleash your volley into Zarya's face.
He's back
Yeah, it was a shattered Moira and a Ryan actually.
left side.
So always try to keep yourself close to corners. Corners are your friends,
Ash is one.
and they keep you safe from all of the nasty red people
That's
that want to destroy you.
aggressively, it's not bad.
We're up. Unlucky.
Yeah, I would almost say to start actually using your trance just as a tool to win a fight. I think if you look at it that way, it is going to be easier to use it. And also, of course, if you're keeping track of what the enemy team is using, it is going to be a lot easier. So, especially on defense there, the first fight, your whole team is at 80%. You using trance is definitely gonna give your whole team all of their 5 ultimates, and that will probably be more than enough to win you the fight. So keeping track of those little things, pressing tab every single time you're dead or when there's downtime, even in the middle of fights sometimes, it is worth it to press tab just to see what is going on and what you have as resources to use. And same thing on the second part, the streets phase of Dorado, when you saw their grab plus Moira, their grab plus Reaper ult got beaten, so you all survive, and then they beat in response to your beat, but they don't get anything out of it. So that's 3 ults for 1. Awesome. 3 ults for 1, awesome. So you know there are only like 2 more ults they can use. It's Shatter and it's Moira ult. And then they just straight up win the fight with Shatter and Moira ult when you have trance ready. That should be an easy trance for you. And you get 2 ults for 1 once again. It buys a lot of time for your team to get even more ults for the next fight. And by cycling your ults that way, you waste a bunch of time out of the enemy team's clock. So yeah, I think just looking at that one map is enough, actually.